Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar AI in Action. We will show you Microsoft Copilot top features and discuss the future businesses will face as we move towards AI adoption. Before we start the show, I'd like to make one thing clear. AI has been here for a very long time, and most people just don't know about it. Uh, my name is Sumedha. Um, I'm the director of NSN Infotech, a managed service provider and a cloud solutions partner with Microsoft. Today, Fiona joining us from Crayon, who is our partner, and Fiona is the subject matter expert on Copilot and AI. People who have used Microsoft Office package in 2000 and before that may have remembered this prompt. This is called Clippy, and this is some sort of AI platform that's inbuilt into Microsoft back in the day. Due to feedback, Microsoft had taken this out of Office purely because the world wasn't ready for AI at that time. Now, if you look at AI itself, it was born in 1956 during a Dartmouth conference organized by a group of scientists, brainstormed about artificial intelligence, and it's considered the birth of AI. This event laid the foundation um, for AI research and development, leading to at the advancements we see today. I know everyone has tried or actively uses ChatGPT, note taking, summaries, research, consolidating, and even coding. I do use for coding. It helps us be more productive. Believe me or not, after 5 days of uh, launch of ChatGPT, 1 million were using it already. The surge in AI adoption is mind blowing. It is. It's truly mind blowing. And if you look at the technologies such as Microsoft Teams, let's look at how the adoption worked for Microsoft Teams. It was launched in 2017. That year, it had about 2 million users and a steady growth until 2019. That's when we had this pandemic. During the pandemic, everybody had to go away and work from remote locations and work from home. And this is where all these remote working tools took off. And after pandemic, but by 2020, this had grown to 320 million total of users using Microsoft Teams. Now, if you look at ChatGPT, because from Microsoft Teams to grow to that level, it took some time. But look at the adoption of ChatGPT, which is within 5 days, 1 million, in few months, 100 million, and by the end of 2023, early January 2024, it's 200 million. Just a comparison of these two tools, Teams and uh, generative AI. 20 million in 2 years, 200 million in 2 years. So that's a huge gap. The biggest benefit you get with generative AI tools that you save a lot of time with it. By using the tool, you can do a lot of things in quicker and much accurately and much more efficiently. So these are some of the tasks that you could help with AI using AI. And these are some of the things that you can do by using AI tools, specifically Microsoft Copilot. And when Copilot is doing the work for you, you could focus your time doing other things that are mostly important to your business, like focusing more on core responsibilities, researching industry trends, being more creative, innovative, more active participation in meetings, and so forth. Yeah, the time saving is just one of the many benefits of Copilot. So the transformation supports business growth through better productivity. And if you look at how we could leverage the true potential of Copilot, just look at this slide, and you could truly accelerate employee productivity and creativity using Copilot, such as time savings, maximize the value of your product suite, focus on business growth, as well as optimize business processes, operational efficiency, increase revenue, cost savings, of course, and of course, stay in control of your data. The future is having an AI assistant for work. It's amazing. Now, if you look at Microsoft and other AI tools, Microsoft Copilot is more integrated into your Office suite, so which means it really work with your product internally rather than having to go back and forth in different multiple tools. Look, you will see now Fiona is going to give you a good demo, a great demo, and once you see that, you will understand what I'm telling you about how Copilot integrates into Microsoft suite of products.
This is the demo.
Yep.
Welcome, everyone. So my name is Fiona Golinelli. I'm sponsored by Microsoft into an organisation called Crayon, which support IT companies across the world. And Microsoft put people like myself into roles to help support IT companies in the Microsoft range of products. So today I'm very fortunate to be in front of you. So thank you for taking the time. Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is the business version of Copilot that we're going to talk about today, because there's many different Copilots like Samita mentioned and referred to. This Copilot respects your privacy and security settings within your organization. So if you have access to information already, Copilot will speed up the process of you getting access to that. So think of Copilot as your speedy intern. It's not meant to be an autopilot. It is a Copilot to support you to save time. And the easiest way to do this, to show you, is I'm going to do a live demo. So you'll see my own information. I personally don't like pre-recorded demos for this, because I really want to connect with you to show you some examples, and I'm very conscious of time. So I'm going to show you a snapshot across Teams, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Copilot Chat. Now, normally I was literally going to start in Teams. Teams and Outlook is the most heavily used applications for Copilot. But just bringing on what Samita mentioned, I'm just going to pivot for a second and show you. I'm bringing over Teams right this second. So excuse my head turning because I've got multiple screens. But just to explain the difference with the Copilot business version, which is what we're showing today, versus the Copilot free version. So you have a window here called Copilot Chat, and you can manage your day-to-day work activities from here. It will access, so if I toggle, you can access your work files and data or do research on the web. It is highly secure, and we can talk about that later, but it has enterprise data protection. I wanted to show you this, and I will revisit this, bearing I'm conscious of time. I will revisit this to show you the power of using Copilot Chat in just to get organized for your day. But let's go back straight into Teams, and I want to show you some really cool features. Firstly, I'm going to show you how, if I have many meetings, so excuse me for doing this, but I need to show you how you would engage Copilot. And how you communicate to Copilot is called prompting. And that is a conversation and a training literally, maybe I can't join it, literally unto its own. But I want to show you two things. I won't join that meeting because I actually may cancel that. So I've actually got a recording for you. So let me go back into your chat. You don't necessarily have to have a Teams meeting to capture meeting notes. And this is why I wanted to show you this. Yes, it will work in Teams, and I'll give you a quick demo of that. But just say you are having a face-to-face meeting with clients internally and so on. And I actually did this morning with my husband. We just tested it, and I didn't record it. I didn't invite anyone to a team meeting. I did what was literally the new chat, what I showed you just a second ago. And we started talking. I've kept it short and brief. But this shows when we were talking about budgets and financial aspects. So this was able to capture, not via a Teams meeting, but an in-person meeting where my laptop was open. I created the meeting. I turned on transcript, which I'll show you in a moment, and it captured the meeting notes. Now, how cool is that? No more paper and pen. Look, we may want paper and pen, but no more paper and pen is required to capture boardroom minutes, meeting minutes, action items. So Copilot will do that for you in a face-to-face meeting as well as in a Teams meeting. So Copilot here, you will see the icon, this colorful, sometimes it's colorful, icon in all of the Microsoft applications. It's across the board in whatever application you want to use. And see this prompt. I can ask Copilot, even though this was a very short meeting, I can ask Copilot to recap the meeting, list action items, which are the most common ones that I personally use, highlights, generate my meeting notes, which will be a little bit more detailed. But I'm going to bring you another one. I did an interview as purposely for this demonstration with my boss on my role. Okay, I'm the interviewee, but you will get the gist of what I'm about to show you. It provided, I'm just scrolling up, the key topics. If you can look at my pink cursor, it covered the key topics in this interview. It was the first interview for Ross to have with me, which he could easily capture and share with the other business leaders to make a decision or to shortlist me. What questions were unresolved? We asked Copilot that, and it provided an answer. I wanted to write, I have Copilot, I wanted to write a thank you email to Ross. And there it goes. I would have saved at least, now, these may be short time savings, but they accumulate to a lot. I'm going to copy and paste that thank you email into Outlook. Now, I'll just bring up Outlook, so just give me one moment. Let me get my cursor. I've got it all ready for you. I'm going to copy and paste that literally into Outlook so that you can see the effect. Yes, you have to copy and paste, or cut and paste, I should say, the subject matter, the subject topic into that top section. But for the purpose of the demonstration, we've got Copilot up here. If you were to right click, you've also got Copilot here. So this will allow you, let me just bring this down so you can see, an auto rewrite function. I may not be happy with that. Get coaching allows you to give, coaching will allow you to understand the tone, the feedback, the sentiment on what you're actually communicating in that email. So Copilot will coach you in your responses. A lot of us have to be a little bit more diplomatic, or we may have a difficult response to an email, and Copilot can help you with that. Can make it shorter, longer, and change the tone. So, for example, I can make it more casual because I think that's a little bit formal for my liking, and I just replace that, and voila, it happens. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that I use the terminology, you're chatting to Copilot. You're chatting to your intern, for example. Now, I actually have done an example here for you to save time. And I've asked via this icon, Copilot icon, do I have any action items in my unread emails so that I don't have to scroll through my many, many unread emails? And it has provided me with my unread emails, and see these little numbers at the end of each point. That takes me directly to the email that I have to action. Now, how cool is that? I'm sure the time saving for people like myself and people like yourself to save you time scrolling through emails, it will just take you directly to what you have to action. If you've been mentioned as a direct recipient in emails, it will do that. There's many different prompts. I've even given, I know there was a communication on an event in Newcastle from this person called Laura. I can't find the email. I just don't want to spend time. It has found that for me and brought me to the actual email that was communicated to me. So that just gives you an idea. Once again, Copilot will help you with prompts as you get to know it more and more. And the key here is, please, if you're going to engage Copilot, it's really good to have more than one person in the organization with it, because you'll have a Copilot buddy to learn off. That's one key tip. Let's move on because I'm conscious of time. I'm going to bring over a Word document. So let's have a look at it in Word. Come on, cursor. The beauty of having multiple screens. I've just used a blank Word document. And I've asked it, I hope you can see in the blue over on the side, on the far right, give me the latest information on current marketing trends for a brand strategy. So I'm a marketing person right now. I'm putting a different hat on as I'm working on our social media campaign for 2025. It's gone ahead and found information on the most current trends. Now, please, there is always got to be a human element to Copilot. So there's always an authorization process and a checking process. So I don't underestimate and take this everything for granted. It is excellent, but I always recommend you need to have a human element. All I did, see the little copy button there? All I did was copied and pasted that into the Word document. And to add a little bit more for you, I've added the best practices for integrating AI in marketing. Now, for example, if I wanted to make that quite, a little bit more interesting to the reader, I'm going to ask Copilot, that looks like something I could create a table in. I'm going to bring over my little Copilot icon and visualize as a table. Because I'm using multiple screens, you might not have seen that prompt, but you've got a number of prompts when you bring up that. And there you go. I didn't have to do that from scratch, and I'm going to keep that. You can actually even ask Copilot, prepare an executive summary. Because I actually don't like preparing an executive summary. And generate that for me, please, Copilot. And it'll go ahead and do that for us. You then formatting would need to still be done via your normal tools. But what I'm going to do with this document is import this into PowerPoint so that you can see the ease and time saving of creating a Word document with the content, putting that into a PowerPoint, and you will then visualize what it comes up with, even with the images that it creates. You can use your own corporate template. For the purposes of today, I'm just going to be using a blank PowerPoint template to show you. But there's an executive summary that I didn't have to go and do myself. I would check that to make sure that that's fine, but that is a great time saver. Here we go with PowerPoint. It's a blank document. I brought up Copilot, and it has a number of different prompts. One of the most common is create a presentation from a file. See that little /? You can access a number of files, up to 5 files, in most of these content preparation applications. So I am actually going to choose the marketing plan that I was just working on and go send, and it will create a PowerPoint presentation within moments. I'm really conscious of our time. but it won't take long. There we go. It lets you know how long it's taking. We're all impatient people nowadays, aren't we? It lets you know how long it's taking, and it's generating the slides at about 80% there. What it will ask me then is, are you happy to copy and paste that in? Which I will be. There we go. It's just quickly looking things over. And what I'll do after this is just scroll through to show you just some different layouts of how it's done it. And within what did that take? 10 seconds, give or take? That has given you an understanding of how quick that can be for people who need to make presentations using PowerPoint from a Word document. Moving right along, let's have a look at Excel. I'm going to just minimize that so we don't. This is a pretty, look, it's a demonstration file. And it gives you some information. We call it, it's giving transaction IDs, model numbers, the production cost, and the season of when it was purchased. Copilot in Excel has become a lot better in the last 4 or 5 months. It was in its infancy the beginning of last year when it was launched, mid last year. What I want to show you, because there is so much that you could go through, and the tip here before I actually show you the insights, the better you are at prompting and giving it very exact instructions, the better the outcome will be. But I'm actually going to ask it, I've asked it to provide me with data insights, which is one of the typical prompts that Excel gives you. And given the time, and I'm looking at the ticks, it will give me graphs and analyze the data to help me provide, understand my data to make more informed decisions via pricing, via roadmaps. You can get an understanding there. When you have a little bit more time, speak to us, because Copilot in Excel is a very powerful tool, and I highly recommend that you investigate that further. Now, what I do want to show you is I'm going to go back to our chat icon. So Copilot chat, once again, is here. I can actually use my working day or get my working day. If I've had the day off on Friday, for example, I can ask Copilot for my unread emails. So this is my little working hub. But one of the very cool things, I don't like reading documents. I really don't. I've pinned to the left-hand side here, OneDrive. And for the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to bring up some PDF files, and I'm actually going to ask, I've got a resume here. I'm going to ask Copilot. It will bring that up. That just brings it up normally. But what I'm going to ask Copilot here is, bear with me, bring that back up. Show code. I didn't click on it properly. My apologies. Is summarize that. So I even have a boardroom minutes. I have annual reports to summarize. But in this instance, I'm going to summarize the resume for you just because of timing of the webinar. And that will come together and provide me with a summary without me having to read a couple 3-page resume. So I hope that's really, I can ask it a question. You've got a lot of different features. I hope that's given you an insight of the time saving that you can be, that it can be achieved across these major applications. Please reach out to us if you need more detail, but I'm going to hand it over to Samita to carry on the last part of our webinar.
Well, the million-dollar question, is your organization AI ready? That's something that we definitely need to consider before adoption of an AI, especially an AI tool, because your data needs to be secure. So when I say your data needs to be secure, let's see what exactly we need to look at. With adopting an AI tool, AI tool is like a two-sided sword. Like it does give you a lot of benefits, and at the same time, it it poses a lot of risks as well, such as say if your organization, your data environment is not ready, and let's say you have data oversharing, and Copilot can go in and look those data for anyone who can use it Copilot to great extent. Say if a user who is not authorized to look at something, and if that is oversharing, then that user can potentially use Copilot to look at those data. Like for an example, say if confidential, for an example, say the salaries of the employees or the management is on a Excel file, and it's overshared among the managers, and if the user try to use Copilot to get those details, they potentially be able to get that. And also, data leak is also something that we definitely need to look at before we adopt Copilot, uh, and also generative AI as a whole. Say if a user take a corporate, um, let's say, corporate uh, IP and put it on a public AI tool seeking for answers, and that may potentially lead into a data leak, because once you put it on a public space, that will become common knowledge. Um, so that's something that we definitely need to tap into, and also the compliance, non-compliance usage. These things can definitely need to be looked at before going into an AI tool. We need to definitely bring in more controls, such as through policies, procedures, and use policies. We need to control how AI tools are used in the environment. And during 2024, Deloitte conducted a survey usage of AI tools. For this survey, there were 900 managers participated in this survey, and these were the answers given by those managers. Security vulnerabilities, surveillance, regulatory uncertainty, accountability, reliability. So these are the things that we definitely need to take into consideration before really adopting AI in your environment. You definitely need to um, look out for these and make sure that these areas are protected before adopting AI tool. Definitely, organizations and their data should be AI ready um, before we go into the adopting the AI tools. What steps to take? Prep your data, secure your data, and optimize your operations. So by doing these three steps, you can make sure that your environment is ready for Copilot deployment. You know, preparing your data, like, centralize your data. And if you have data everywhere, you can centralize them into a single repository, classify your data and your content, then optimizing the storage, as well as, content risk assessments, and enforce permission to sensitive content, like looking at where you've overshared your data. You can definitely make sure that those things are corrected before um, getting the Copilot in the environment, and also enforce governance, especially through policies like acceptable use policies, IT policies. You can make sure that what tools are allowed to use in the environment, up to what extent, and what type of corporate data can be shared through these tools, and also these things can be governed through policies and procedures. Well, it's something for you to consider. Is your data ready? Some may have this question whether we are ready. Well, don't worry about it. We have the solution for that. As part of this webinar. The goal of this is to educate every one of you, how to adopt and use AI technologies in current world. And as part of this webinar, we are providing a free assessment for all these attendees and registrants of this webinar. It's valued at 199, but we are giving it totally free of cost until the end of this month. So I would highly encourage you to get this offer and make the best use of it. My team will be in touch with you after this webinar to discuss further on this one. Also, as part of this webinar, I believe you already received the free prompting guide, and the rest of the insights and all these things will follow after this webinar. That's the end of the webinar, and thank you very much for taking your time out of your busy schedules to join this webinar and learn about Microsoft Copilot and AI. I know it's a very quick one, but there's ton of data, that ton of information that we could share, but time is against us. I'm sorry for that, but I know Fiona did well to take you through and take you through that lovely presentation of how Copilot can be used in your corporate world. But there are a lot of other things that you could do with Copilot. Unfortunately, we can't show you everything because of the time. Please feel free to reach out, and we are, more than happy to help you out. And thank you very much once again coming into this webinar. And on behalf of the whole team, wish you all the very best in your AI adoption journey.